Hello everyone, so today I'm going to review my ZOIDS Wild Knuckle Kong. So here is ZOIDS Wild Knuckle Kong. So here's my ZOIDS Wild Knuckle Kong. Here he is front view in all of his glory. You can see him over there. Has a nice little, really looks like a gorilla and he looks pretty cool. Side view, so he's not so armored in the back compared to the front. Got these big shoulder pads. Here's the top view with the rider on his back. There. Here's the underside where the motor is under here. So this here is the Knuckle Kong from the ZOIDS Wild toy line, and it looks pretty awesome over here. So these ZOIDS usually have a gimmick. These ZOIDS walk. And they also have a gimmick. In this case, they have like a wild blast. Or in this case, since he's one of the bad guys, I think it's called a death blast. Anyways, first and foremost, this is him walking. You just have to flick this switch up over here up top. There he is. Walks pretty well on his knuckles. That's him walking sideways. That's him walking coming at you. So he moves forward pretty well, and he also has a nice, his jaw slightly opens and closes as he walks. I don't know if you see it, but you can already see it. I can see it over there. So that's him walking. And he walks pretty well on most surfaces. I also do a show called Zoid Wars. And he can walk on beds, on the floor, and right now on this surface over here. This hard surface, so it's pretty versatile. I like the way he walks on his knuckles, as you can see right over there. So he walks pretty well. And let's turn him off. So as mentioned, he has a wild or death blast form, which I shall show you next. So before I show you the wild blast, I'll just show you that the only thing he comes with is this pilot. So he's a clear, non-colored piece, as you can see over there. So all of these ZOIDS Wild come with this little pilot character, as you can see. And you could paint him if you like. In the cartoon, he's piloted by a bad guy. He's like part of the death metal group. I watched the cartoon like 2 years or 3 years back. At least just season 1 so far. But yeah, he's piloted by one of the bad guys. Death metal group, big hulking guy. He's kind of like, he's not the boss, but he's like one of the sub-bosses. I think the main boss's name is it Gallagher or Gallarhorn or something? Or Gallagher, I get confused. But yeah, so the real rider of this guy looks like a big hulking dude who plays with his drumsticks. And but all you get with this figure is this sort of looks like he's kind of riding a motorcycle. So you get this clear figure as his rider. As mentioned, this has a wild blast gimmick, and as such, this guy has to undergo a slight transformation, which I shall show you. So the first thing you do is, what I want to do first is I kind of take this leg over here, kind of unsnap it, makes a clicking sound, and then lock it here with this. So bring it here and then move this one to lock it. It locks with this. So once this leg is fastened, you do the same with the other leg. You just bring it down until it makes a clicking sound, and this one is freewheeling, so that's fine. So he could stand on his hind legs, so to speak, kind of like that. Now the next thing I want to do is his arms. If you notice, his arms are sort of fastened, so you slightly just bring them out like this until it makes a clicking sound, becomes freewheeling too. Do the same with the other arm, bring it out like that, and then you twist his knuckles, bend his elbows. But before you bend his elbows, don't forget to detach this top part, because these become his brass knuckles. His shoulder pads become his brass knuckles. And then you do that, do that. This one tabs in here. There's a little peg here that tabs to that hole. So you do that over there. You lower down his head. Raise up the pilot on this. Raise it up like that. And he's just about transformed. And now you have him in his wild blast form, and when you turn on his switch, he will do another gimmick. You turn on his switch, he now does his pretty cool looking wild blast mode. That's, or Death Blast mode, since he's a bad guy. I think it's called Death Blast when you're a bad guy. So that's him. Looks pretty awesome, doing his little gimmick. I mean, he doesn't really tap on his, doesn't really beat his chest, but that's okay. But I like the way his jaw opens and closes as he does this, and it's like he's, you know, showing his dominance. So, though he doesn't really touch his chest, for me, he looks pretty cool. He looks pretty cool doing that gimmick over there. You know, it kind of reminds me of those monkey toys that would beat a drum. But in this case, he beats his chest, so I like to have this guy with me while I'm doing stuff, and I turn him on every now and then just to see him rhythmically open his mouth up and down and quote-unquote pound his chest. But he looks pretty cool, even though he doesn't really hit his chest, but he looks pretty cool doing that. So his battery is behind his chest. You sort of just have to flip this part out, whoops, right over there, and flip this part over there. And his battery is right over there. You just have to unscrew it with a little screwdriver. He runs on a AAA battery. Then once the battery is put in, you just have to put back the chest and he's good as new. So, yeah, this guy is one of my favorite Zoids from the ZOIDS Wild line. I mean, even though his knuckles don't really hit his chest, I like the Knuckle Kong because in general I like Gorilla. You know, I like Optimus Primal, I like Iron Kong from Zoids. I tend to like Gorilla robots because they look cool, or, you know, Gorilla characters like King Kong too. So this guy is one of my favorites in that sense. I'm alright with his gimmick. Would be nice if he really hits his chest, but you know, it's good enough for me. I just like the way he rocks up and down, back and forth, I mean. I use this guy in my Zoid Wars when I do my little stop motions on him, and he's pretty good. He's not one of the strongest contenders, but you know, he gets the job done. He moves pretty well in my opinion. Not super well, but you know, well enough to walk on different surfaces. I mean, he can walk on the bed, he can walk on hard surfaces like this, and he can walk on wood on the floor, so he's pretty versatile. Of course, this guy also has an added layer in the sense that he's special to me because he was also a birthday gift to me from someone special back in the day. So that's an added layer to this. So overall, he's a pretty good figure. It would have been nice if he was a little bit bigger, because in the cartoon, I remember he's quite big. In here, he's not really too big. He's kind of like the same size as the regular size Zoids, because I was thinking he's like, based on the cartoon, he looks quite big and hulking. But, oh, minor gripe. That's good enough. Well, overall, I like this Zoid. His gimmick is alright, and he moves alright. And I like him. I like the fact that you have to transform him a bit to do his Death Blast. So, there. So that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Knuckle Kong.